Welcome to Patient Profiles. In this video, we are going to discuss how to get even more out of the timeline feature. In the How to Create an Event Table tutorial video, we learned how to add events to the timeline via the event table. Now we are going to add additional pertinent events to the timeline. First, we are going to add our visits to the timeline. We recommend using a visit dataset or a dataset that has a single record per visit per patient. So first we need to identify the visit date and visit name variables. Here is our visit name variable, and we just drag that over to the corresponding button in the timeline window. And we do the same with the visit date variable. And when we click over to Report View and scroll down to our timeline, we can see that now each of the visits is marked on the timeline. Next, we're going to add time on study drug to the timeline. We will add the start and stop days of treatment, which will need to come from a single record per patient dataset in order to best utilize the tool. So we just locate those variables. Here is our drug start date and our drug stop date and our dose per day, which is going to be our dose name. Our drug name. And you can see there are multiple levels of dosing for this particular study, so we're going to go ahead and color code those. And when we click over to Report View and scroll down to our timeline, we can see that our time on study drug has been added with the level of dosing listed inside of it. And when we click to another patient, we can see another level of dosing and another color coding. Another option for the drug shading is to check off the full drug shading, which provides shading for the entire height of the timeline for the time that the patient was on study drug. And you can see that the dosing level is still listed within there. The next thing that we're going to do is add dates for individual events like date of discontinuation, date of informed consent, and date of death. And the way that we do that is by coming into this events box and scrolling down the date that we would like displayed. So we're going to display the date of death, and we can also color code that by clicking in here and changing the color. The events that we're going to check off within this box should only be single occurrences and not events with a start and stop date like start date and stop date of an adverse event or of a concomitant medication. And when we click over to our report view and click on our patient, and scroll down, we can see our date of death listed in the timeline. And finally, we are going to edit our visit windows. Now, this is an option that appears when you are using our web viewer to view your profiles. So what you will do is just click in this visit window button, and then you're going to enter, based on the protocol, the day that the visit should have occurred and the lower limit and the upper limit for each particular visit. So we'll just go through and enter the dates, the study days for each of these items. And so on. And once you've completed this entire table and you upload your profiles to the internet, you create a table that looks like this. It's listed under Trends and then Visits, and you can see the day that each patient attended each visit, and visits that are listed in red are outside of the visit window based on the protocol. And down here you can see what those windows are.